You said, I said, you do such a great job, and you said, I have a good one today, so we're in for something really special. Drake is a speaker, meditation teacher, transformation coach, stress reduction consultant, de-escalation trainer, and yoga instructor. That's a lot of wonderful spiritual gifting right there. Connects us to our intuition and our natural wisdom with the blend of ancient wisdom, modern tools, and simple practical practices, all centered on self-kindness. You can find Drake at drakepowe.com. Drake is going to be talking with us about agelessness and the stages of youth. So thank you so much for being here with us. Everybody, please give a very warm welcome to Drake Powe. You're in for something special.
Thank you so much. Now, you know, any of you who have been with me before, you know I love bells. Bells are so special. And the very first thing I want to encourage you to do is develop ritual. You know, light a candle. I mean, you know, like doing something like lighting a candle every night. It creates it raises the quality of the experience. And the bells do that as well. When you ring a bell, it's like hearing an alarm. At every level, when you're sleeping, even if you're dreaming and the alarm goes off, you hear it in the dream. So what I'm suggesting is that these tactile experiences are actually more profound than our consciousness. We experience the sound of the bell at levels of our consciousness that we're not even aware of. So I'm going to ring the bell. Here we go. Now this session is called Agelessness and the what's it? Agelessness and stages of youth. Yeah, agelessness and stages of youth. And so one of the essential elements of agelessness is agency. So I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in and make an ah sound. Ah. And just for a moment, just feel that. Do you feel that release that occurred when you made that sound? That's called agency. That's called agelessness. Now, right off the bat, I just want to apologize. I've been having some technical difficulties, so I want to apologize right off the bat with that, because I was looking at my video screen earlier. I was doing a Zoom class, and I noticed that my screen was messed up because my hair was all white. So I assumed it was a technical difficulty, because I know my hair is actually quite brown. But it's weird. The mirror is having these technical difficulties as well. And so to me, it's so funny to me. It's so funny, this whole relationship to age and being comfortable with age. You know, there's so many elements. I mean, maybe some of you all don't remember this, but I remember like being at people's houses, and you remember those phones that be up on the wall and they had the long cord and you'd be able to walk around. And if you had a phone with a long cord, that was so cool. You felt like it was such a great thing to have this long cord that you could move around. And then I remember the phones where it was portable, and I remember how cool that was. You know, it pulled the antenna out, and you'd be walking around the house. It felt so cool. I remember all these things. I remember the VHS, you know, like the first ones. Does anybody remember that? I remember going when I was a freshman in college, and I was playing football, and I was going around and visiting different schools. And I remember going to this one guy's place, and he had a drawer full of VHS tapes. Each one of them had 3 movies on it. And I was just like, wow, that's got to be happiness. You can watch any movie anytime you want. That's happiness. Well, you know, I can pretty much do that now. I can watch pretty much any movie I want. I can do all these different things. And I just want to suggest that agelessness is one of the most important things that we can develop. Agelessness is that quality where you're not so concerned about your own aging process. Agelessness is that process when you find different ways of reframing the aging process in ways that work for you. And one of those is stages of youth. So my birthday is coming up. My birthday is August 2nd. So my birthday is coming up quite quickly. You know, and what I'm suggesting is that that's what this process of agelessness is. It's about getting excited. It's about celebrating this aging process. I mean, what is it? Agelessness is that shining. You know, like when you were a kid and you saw an elder, some of those elders who had those shining faces. Agelessness is when you can't quite tell how old someone is. It's not someone trying to be young, but they just radiate a vitality. And so I want to encourage you to stimulate that relationship to that process. It's about finding ways to balance the inner and outer world. So much stuff is going on in the world. What I'm suggesting is that the aging process is one of the greatest gifts that we have, because that connects us to being in contact with the need for joy. I mean, don't postpone joy. That's what we want to recognize. It's really important for us to recognize that we have to find a way to celebrate this place where we're at, and recognizing that there's some element of being in this space that is outside of the aging process. There's something about right now that's not measured in time. There's something that's about your presence that's not measured in time. And so I really want to suggest that we create a process for developing this ageless quality I'm talking about. And one of those is feeling safe in your world. And of course, one of the most important ways of feeling safe is to have a structure. And so it helps to have different framings to develop these kind of ageless qualities. And one of those is to build a home, a spiritual home that you can feel safe in. And so the most important part of agelessness is presence. Being in presence. Now, if you're going to build a home, you're going to make sure that you're going to build it on land that's really, really solid. You're not going to build it in a marsh. You're not going to build it on a sandy hill. You want to build it in an area that's beautiful, on solid ground. That is your presence. And so your presence is something deeper than the aging process. When you're in presence, you're in that space that the Sufis call the beloved. When you're in presence, you are that. So that's the ground. Now, the second level is the foundation. We got to have a foundation that's solid enough to hold the weight of what we're going to be dealing with. That foundation is your authenticity. So what I'm suggesting is one of the ways that we get old is to be worried. When you're focused in worry, when you're focused in everything you're concerned about, that's an aging element. When you are focused in your authenticity, you have to be present to be focused in your authenticity. In order to be in contact with your authenticity, you have to calm down. So to me, this whole process that I'm describing as agelessness is doing something very, very simple every single day. Every single day, to connect with your ageless qualities, I'm asking you to do something to calm and soothe your nervous system and have a sense of what those things are. It's important that those things be available to you. We talk about this regularly because it's so easy. Making sure that you have practices that you do each and every day that calm and soothe your nervous system. Things that are not about you just making yourself feel better, but about you actually doing something that helps you shift your perspective. Things like walking every day. If you want to change the world, walk every single day. This also stimulates agelessness. Walking is great for your feet. It's great for the muscles around your knees. When you're walking with an arm swing, there's a torsion that massages your internal organs. It lengthens your spine. It develops that vital energy that ends up becoming a radiance. So walking 45 minutes to an hour a day. Well, now, that's my traditional approach, walking 45 minutes to an hour a day. There's recent research that's coming out of Japan that says if you do interval walking, which means a half an hour, 3 minutes fast, 3 minutes slow, that is supposedly equally effective as the 45 minutes to an hour a day. And so part of agelessness is finding a way to touch your edge without bursting through it. What works for you and your body? So for some people, walking an hour is not going to work. It's not about forcing yourself to do something. It's about being in tune with your authenticity. So every day we do something to calm and soothe our nervous system. Cooking can be a great thing. Singing can be a great thing. Anything that activates and calms and soothes your nervous system. When you do these things, those things that really, really work for you, including having micro practices, breathing techniques, affirmations throughout the day, doing silly things. So I want to ask you, everyone, only if you're okay with this, I'm going to ask you to take your right hand and just do this. Pat yourself on the back. Man, this has been rough this last 10 years. You've been hanging in. That's part of agelessness, is really giving yourself credit. So soothing and calming your nervous system, doing things that are micro practices, balancing the inner and the outer world, meaning right when you feel reactive, you have to do something that's responsive. So things like affirmations, telling yourself how great you're doing. So we're building a home. So that level, the foundation is the authenticity. And from your authenticity comes your intuition. And I want to suggest to you that being in contact with your intuition is one of the most important elements of developing agelessness. You lose your intuition the more consumed you get with worry, the more consumed you get with anger. Your intuition is a subtlety. Your intuition is the most subtle experience that you have. The ability to focus in subtlety in the midst of intensity is called self-mastery. When you can focus on the subtle when someone is trying to get all the attention, then you're able to get in contact with your intuition. And so it's like a pilot light. Like when you have a really good furnace, that pilot light's going, it's just a little tiny thing. But when it needs to kick on, it heats the whole house. It's the ignition for the flame that heats the whole house. That flame that comes from your intuition is called passion. And I just want to suggest to you that passion, the way I'm framing it, passion and desire mean two different things. So passion is an alignment with your authenticity. It's an alignment with your mission, what you're here for, what you always have been here for. Those desires are distractions. That person, we've all dated that person that we shouldn't have dated, right? Or get caught up or we're so consumed when someone is really reactive and really projecting. Remember, if a person is more committed to their view of reality than you are to yours, you will switch to theirs. So if they are in a reactive state, hating, if they're more committed to that reactivity than you are to your responsiveness, the reasons why you're here right now, you'll shift to that. So it's really important that we understand the difference between intuition and impulse. They're not the same thing. Impulse comes from fear or greed or anger. Passion comes from your authenticity, this mission you were born, why you're here. And by the way, your mission, the reason you're here, doesn't just exist while other people think you're important. Your mission, the reason you're here, is with you all the way to the very end of this experience. Even if you are by yourself at the very end, you are still in alignment with your mission. So we have this house that we're building. And we have a house. We have 3 rooms of the house. It's important to understand what rooms of the house they are. Each one of these is based in passion. One is the passion for your passion. Ignite the passion for your passion. This is about raising the quality of life. The more passion you have, the more agelessness you experience. Raise your quality of life. Don't wait. Man, I'm telling you what, this thing is going, I'm 62. This thing is going like this. Right? Don't wait. Your life actually goes in 7-year cycles. You think you have all this time, but each of those 7-year cycles is a lifetime. Don't wait. So get into your passion for passion. So one of the ways to connect with your passion for passion is what you used to love when you were a kid. When you were, it was like 5th grade. I was at the science fiction book club. And this was when I had an uncomfortable realization that I was a dork. Every dork in the whole region was in this one library. So I'm into that. I'm still into reading. I still love to read science fiction and fantasy novels. But that expanded out into reading and studying meditation and stress reduction. It stemmed from that. So what is your passion for your passion? I just want to check in real quick. Can anyone tell us something they loved when they were a kid? Anyone at all? Yes, please.
I loved paint by number sets.
I love paint.
So we used to get cereal, and in the cereal would be coupons that you can mail in for little prizes.
I love
And
it.
so I got a little tiny paint by number set with the oil paints, and I love the smell of the oil paints and all of that. It was so much fun.
I love it. Now, my question too is there anything you do in your current life that connects to that at all?
Yes, I do paint by numbers.
I love it. I love it.
I even found an app that you can use on your phone that you can paint without the actual paints.
I love it. I love it. One of the elements of agelessness is recognizing that your childhood self is always with you. You know, you could see it, you know, in terms metaphysically, or you could see it in terms of your nervous system. Your nervous system is your childhood self. So when you do these things that you loved as a kid, it stimulates some of that joy that was there for you as a kid. That kid is still here with you now. Is still looking to enjoy his or her experience and also to be healed in terms of whatever the trauma you experienced. So I love that. Does anyone else want to share something they love to do? Yes, please, go right ahead.
I just love to draw.
Love to draw.
Just create things, and you know, I was babysitting kids, and I would take like little tiny like baseball cards of like the Ninja Turtles, and I draw them up to big poster size and hand those out to kids and that I babysat for. And it's like I just loved color and art and just creating things like that. And that now I have my own business in which I do that, which I just kind of fell into. And so now I do that every single day to help other people feel good about themselves.
You fell into that? Or were you drawn into that? You know what I mean? It's like where you know, sometimes, like, again, when you find those things, my daughter, there are pictures of my daughter where there are expressions of her face as a baby that's totally her adult personality. So what I'm saying is, it's like we're not trying to force ourselves, we're being encouraged, we're being drawn from the heart, and so I love that. So and again, if anyone else wants to share anything, please do. But if you were into Pippi Longstockings as a kid or whatever it was, get in contact with that passion. And find out how that passion could be reawakened in your adult self. So you have one room, which is the passion for passion. And all these rooms, be aware, passion is a thermodynamic heat that's coming up from the ground of your presence through your authenticity, all the way through your intuition. It's coming from the very ground of who you are. It's a heat. Passion is a heat. So when you have passion, it stimulates heat, which stimulates growth. So passion for passion. Second room is passion for creativity. Don't wait. Don't wait for other people to check out your stuff. Start writing. Start drawing. Start coloring. Start doing poetry. Just start doing it. Consider this simple adage: before you consume, create. Before you consume, create. That's what you're here for. You're here to be co-creative with whatever that is this, what we might consider the sacred. The word enthusiasm in theos means to be one with the sacred, the beloved. Create. Does anyone want to share what you like to create? Does anyone have any passion for creation? Feel free. You don't have to, but feel free. Second room is creative. Now, the third room is passion for service. You are here to be of service. You are here to be of service. You know, I want to read something real quick here. Did anyone ever see the movie The Green Mile? Yeah? I just want to read one quote from that movie. The main character, John Coffey, he says in this, "I'm tired of being on the road, lonely as a sparrow in the rain. I'm tired of never having a buddy to be with, to tell me where we're going, coming from, or even why. Mostly, I'm tired of people being ugly to each other. I'm tired of all the pain I hear and feel in the world." So when we are in this process of agelessness, we're in this process of balancing that. That's part of what we are all feeling. So your passion for service is going to have something to do with you finding a way to balance that hurt that's been with you and with me my whole life. And right now, what aging is offering us is the opportunity to heal that pattern from the past. By balancing the inner and the outer world, by recognizing that the process of becoming ageless rather than just being kind of deflated by all that because we feel that. The process of becoming ageless is stepping into the direct relationship to abundance right here, today, right now. Agelessness is about feeling abundant right now. With exactly the situation. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to be me. I'm glad to be me, even though I feel what he was saying there. I felt that so much in my heart. My heart just expresses it. But that's part of the balance, because aging ain't no joke. I was a massage therapist, and I was doing massage with this woman in her early 90s, and I was like in my late 20s. And she said, boy, if I was in my early 70s, you'd be in trouble. But she said, aging ain't no joke. And you know it's true. So when you have that much, remember, balancing the inner and outer world means that whatever's going on in the outer world, you have some inner resource that's deep and powerful enough to balance it. You can always make things better. It's in the way you frame the situation. How are you framing it? Agelessness is recognizing that winning is sometimes winning is not losing so fast. Right? Sometimes winning is not losing so fast. Agelessness is finding a way to have the courage to frame things in ways that make you feel like you're winning no matter what's going on. No matter what's going on, somehow it's working out. Somehow, because of what's happening, there's some best case of you that's coming out of it. That's the thing that we have the opportunity for. Everything that we're dealing with is either going to make us more ourselves or less ourselves. And we get to choose. If you choose to become more yourself, that means you're ageless. If you choose to be trapped in age, that means you're going to be a cranky old person. Nobody wants to be that. No, you want to be that brightness that shines. Agelessness is a light that shines from the heart and from the face. Right? So I want to do a little bit of practice, but does anyone have any questions or statements about any of this? Feel free. Now, one of the things I want to suggest, again, we're building this house. We come up, now we're in the three passions. And by the way, the three passions, the three rooms, they act as like an oven where they swirl together. When you have your passion for passion, it's going to flow into your passion for creativity. Your passion for creativity is going to flow into your passion for service. Your passion for service is going to be connected to your passion from your childhood. But you also need a roof, and I call it a thatched roof. And the thatched roof is the roof of gratitude. Gratitude is alchemical. Gratitude transmutes ugliness into beauty. Gratitude is timeless. My hero is my childhood self. I don't have a single hero that's more higher in my estimation than my childhood self, because I know what that kid was going through, and I know what that kid did. And I'm here right now as a result of it. And so because of that, it transformed my childhood. There was a point in my childhood I was like, oh, I never want to forget what happened to me. Because if I forget, nobody will care. I was trapped in it. Now it's transformed because I recognize that it worked out to be where I'm at right now. Gratitude is transformational. And so I want to ask you to add to your list of 10 state changers, 10 different things that you do to shift that bubble. Remember, you are not in your emotions are in you. It's a very different framing. Right? Now, so what I'm suggesting is that when you are connecting with these practices, you shift that perspective. You become larger than the situation you're dealing with. So, activate various games. I call them micro games. So you want to have practices, life is a form of food. You want to season the meal. You want to make your life nutritional and tasty, right? You want to season each and every day. Don't just wait. Make sure you have some skills that you have right now that you can access. Right when you feel that activation of that thought process, remember, your imagination is creative. Worry is a form of imagination. What you imagine with intensity becomes your reality. What you imagine with intensity and consistency becomes your reality. So we want to make sure we're using that imagination in a positive way. And you can do it. Remember, your consciousness is not your friend. It's a great tool, but not a good master. It's going to serve whatever you feel most intensely and what you focus on most deeply. So ask yourself positive questions. That gets the consciousness working in a positive direction. Play the gratitude game. The gratitude game, you say 4 different areas that you're grateful for. Small areas are just as important as large. Ask yourself how you're winning. Say 4 different ways that you're winning. Ask yourself, how am I making progress? Give yourself credit for how much progress. People tend to frame things like they just are handling things the same way they always did. No, you're improving. So let's do some practice right now. Let's interrupt our thought process right now. I'm going to ask you to do this in one of 2 ways. Now, we're going to touch your edge without bursting through it. Your edge is not what you want it to be, it's what it actually is. If you're comfortable standing, then stand. If you're not comfortable standing, then don't stand. Don't make yourself stand. Now, this is a simple practice that we do regularly. You can do this sitting down or standing. Now, the feet are right underneath the hips if you're standing. The palms are out. Start doing backward, easy circles. Activate your posture. Slow it down. Your body has messages. Your body traps what you feel inside it, in your neck and shoulders. Now, I'm going to have my thumbs. I'm going to reach out. Don't hit anybody. Just start doing backward, easy circles. Pull the navel in just a little bit. Just do backward, easy circles. Hook the fingers on either side of the clavicle. Stretch the chin up. Open and close the mouth. Angle it one way. Angle it the other way. Active core. Interlace the fingers. Bring the hands behind the head. Gently stretch through the back of the neck. Now feel it. Your body's giving you subtle messages. Stretching each way. Don't drop the arms. Let the arms just come on down, languid. Left arm is dangling. Bring the right hand up. Just gently stretch easy through the left side. And then the other side, stretch through the right side. Easy. Now this is one of the most important ones. Now my hands are forward. Pull the shoulder blades nice and tight. Put the tips of shoulder blades in the back pocket. Ears over the shoulders. You're opening the heart. Face towards the sky. Let it relax. It's a form of sun salutation. Let it go. Now you literally could see it as a sun salutation. You could also see it as a sacred salutation. I'm going to do it again. Shoulder blades tight. Put the tips shoulder blades in the back pocket. Ears over the shoulders. Feel it open. Let it relax. Breathe. We're going to do it one more time. Shoulder blades tight. Put the tips shoulder blades in the back pocket. Ears over the shoulders. Let it go. Breathing. Now I'm just going to do this. If you're standing, you grab your wrist. If you're sitting, you grab your elbow. If you're standing, grab your right wrist. If you're sitting, grab your right elbow. Now I'm just going to anchor that arm. I'm just going to bring my head over to the opposite side, stretch through the neck and shoulder. I'm going to do the other side. Anchor that other arm, stretch through the neck and shoulder. Now just a little bit more. It's very short, actually. We're going to do goalposts. Rotate the forearms back, bring the chest up, ears over the shoulders. Let it relax down, breathe. Active core. We're going to do that 2 more times. Rotate, chest up, ears over the shoulders. Now let it go, breathe. One last time. Now let it go, breathe. Now you can have a seat again. Now, one of the things, so agelessness is also about getting in contact with the need to move your body. It's not about having an ideal, it's moving it to the level that it is comfortable moving to. So one of the things we want to be aware of is the way we hold our head and neck. So when you start sticking your head out, that's actually subliminally stressful. Okay? It's also something that happens with age, with stress, and with being on the computer a lot. So we're going to be aware of our chin. The chin is going to come forward. We're strengthening the neck. Bring it back. Guide yourself deeper. Consciously relax the neck and shoulders. Breathe. I'm going to do it 2 more times. This time my hand is underneath the chin. Come forward. Come all the way back. Relax the neck and shoulders. Breathe. Let it go. 1 more time. Come forward. Come all the way back. Guide it deeper. And release. Just a little bit more. Now the right hand is on the left shoulder. I'm going to see if I can place my right ear on the front of the right shoulder. There's a perfect stretch in there somewhere for you. That perfect stretch is also releasing emotion. We do that on the other side. Bring that opposite ear to that opposite shoulder. See if you can bring the ear to the front of the shoulder. There's a perfect stretch. Here's the last 2. Now the forearms come tight. Palms are up. Bring the chest up high and firmly press the elbows into the chair while the chest comes up high. Feel the shift of your rib cage. Let it relax. Breathe. Now your rib cage shifting is a big part of your vitality. Your rib cage being able to do this. Now the more stressed we are, the more our rib cage becomes rigid. We're going to do that 2 more times. Chest comes up. Press the elbows into the chair. Feel the rib cage shift. Let it relax. If you work in an office, do this a little bit just once in a while throughout the day. Last time, chest comes up. Let it go. Now this is the very last one. I want to ask you to picture a great lion. I love lions. Picture a great lion. I'm going to ask you to do a lion yawn. So take a breath. Lion yawn. Beautiful. That was good. That was gifted. I love that. Now on the back of that, I'm asking you to make a sound. So take a deep breath. Feel the vibration of the lips and throat. Just experience it. Now slow the breathing down. Tongue is in contact with the roof of the mouth. Slow the breathing down. Breathing slowly and easily. Drop awareness into your lower abdomen, 1 inch below the navel, 1/2 inch in. Now I'm going to ask you to keep that slow, even breath. Notice the texture of the breath and pay attention to anything in your environment. You can have your eyes open and notice colors or sounds or the flow of the air. Now, right in the center of the chest, I'm asking you to just imagine a great star shining in every direction at once. White shining light in every direction at once. I am. You shine from the center of your chest and from your face. I am. Slow the breathing down. I am. Breathing slowly and easy. Keep that slow, even rhythm of the breath. And I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. And usually I don't do this, but I'm going to ask you to do just a brief visualization. I'm going to ask you to remember any tree from any period of your life. There's a tree. It might be in your backyard right now. It might be in the backyard for where you were when you were a kid or in a park. I'm asking you to remember any great tree of your life experience. Slow the breathing down and remember that tree. I mean, if you can, just reach out, touch the bark. Let's take a deep breath. Sigh it out. Now breathe. Eyes opening. Now, anytime you do a practice, I want to suggest that the most important time of the practice is right after the practice. The afterglow of the practice. That's when your intuition tells you, was this good? Was this a good thing? So every practice we do, one of the subliminal things that we're doing is developing our relationship with our intuitive expression. We want to get to the point that we really are able to pick it up. Now, what we did was very simple. We did what's called the posture series. So if you go on my YouTube channel, which is called Touching the Edge, it's in there several times. It's about 3 minutes long. We wake up your posture. If you wake up your posture early in your day, you will significantly begin to shift your baseline emotional experience. We then went on to do the de-escalation template. Slow the breathing down, drop awareness in your belly, notice subtlety, and bring awareness to the center of the chest. I am. I am is ageless. You cannot measure it in time. It is ageless. It's also the ultimate affirmation. I am is an affirmation. okay? And then we went on to this just brief visualization of remembering a tree. Was anyone able to remember a tree from any period of life? Can anyone? Can we get some people to share their trees with us, please?
One-room school in southern Minnesota, and it was up until I was in 6th grade, and then they had to close them, and we had to go to the big towns. And I would I'd help get water at the nearby neighbor, and there would be a weeping willow. And I was under that thing all the time. They would ring the bell, time to get there, time to get to school, and I'd still be under the tree. So I have a love for weeping willows.
I love
And
that.
I remember it like now. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Can we get a few more people to describe their tree, please?
So I'm one of 6. So finding a place where you could have space to yourself was challenging sometimes because I'm also one of the older ones, so the little ones always want to be with you. So my favorite tree was a maple tree, and you had to be just big enough to get the first branch, which some of them were not. And because I was tiny, I could go all the way to the top. And no one could get me to come down because, I had my space. And I would just sit in the wind on the top of the tree and just, I think that was my first connection with a space for me, that was really, really important. Yeah, it was my escape place. And sometimes there would be other kids in the tree with me, neighbors or whatever, because we were always outside. But it was an escape, but it was a beautiful escape.
I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I love that. Does anyone else want to share their tree? Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, I remember my mom planted a half tree, a half bush. I don't know what it was, but I remember it grew and grew and grew, and there was a time when I was able to climb out my bedroom window into this tree, and I just never forget. I just never forget that tree. She, like I said, I don't know, a half bush, I don't know what it was, but I know that thing grew where they had to come and cut it. It came strong, very strong tree. So
I love it. Thank you so much. So, I just want to ask you all to realize that you have this tree in your life. And by the way, when you're describing that tree, you can tell when it's a powerful mystical thing because it's kind of like, remember a Christmas Carol or It's a Wonderful Life where you go back with the person, you go to Christmas's past, whatever. Every single person, when they were describing that tree, I felt like I was there with you. As you're climbing out the window, I was wondering what you were doing when you're climbing out the window. Everything that you were doing, you know what I mean? All those elements, all of a sudden we're there. And so I want to suggest to you that tree also is a very powerful mystical place. If you look around the world, the tree is one of the mystical symbols. And so one of the practices that promotes agelessness is to occasionally go back. That tree represents a safe place for you, for each one of you, right? Isn't that a place that you feel some affection for? So that's one of the practices that stimulates agelessness. Now, we have just a little bit more time left, and I want to bring up another question, and maybe one more practice. I want to ask you, where do you and how do you experience your intuition? How do you experience your intuition? How do you know it's your intuition that you're experiencing? How does it come? Does it come as a physical sensation for you? Does it come as a voice? Does it come as a certain image that comes into your consciousness? Do you just get a feeling? Does anyone... do you feel it when you're being creative? Does anyone want to tell us how they experience their intuition? I'll tell you what, we're almost done, but I'm just asking you as a mission, should you choose to accept it? That's a great quote for a guy who's into agelessness, by the way. And I'm not talking about the Tom Cruise. I'm talking about the Peter Graves Mission Impossible, okay? This mission, should you choose to accept it, is recognize that agelessness is about learning to be more in tune with your intuition, and I'm asking you to actually write down where you feel your intuition. So one of the elements of agelessness is becoming more aware of flow. Be aware of your intuition. Notice synchronicity when two things happen at the same time. We want to begin to build that intuitive response. And remember that one of the most important ways of building it is stepping out of worry. So when you feel those worries, do something to interrupt your process. Do a state changer. So I want to do one more state changer now as we're going here. Is it time to shut down now? Okay, so I want to do one more state changer before we go. I want to ask you some positive questions. Let's go through the 7 positive questions. And you don't have to worry about the mic, just yell it out. I'm going to ask you anything you're hopeful for today, anything small or large, anything you're hopeful for today. Any hopes? Future. You're hopeful for the future? Yeah. I'll repeat it. Any other hopes? Fun. Fun? Yes. I'm sorry, what was that? A job offer. I'm hopeful for you as well. Love? I love that. That's the greatest hope. I love that. Peace. And what else? Football? Football victory. That's part of hope. Don't minimize it or make it too flowery, just wherever it comes. Second one, what does faith mean? What do you have faith in? Faith. Faith. Any faith? I have faith that what you say to yourself regularly becomes your reality. I have faith that it's important to shield yourself from all this negativity because it's pulling your center outside of yourself. Anyone have any faith? I have faith in humanity. Yes? The divine plan. The divine plan, which if you have faith in the divine plan, that means you can relax. Yes? I love that. Yes?
Life has happened for me, not to me.
I love that. It's a powerful statement. I have faith in that. By the way, write down those adages. Remember things that your grandparents told you? Some of the good stuff, write it down. Okay? So we've done hope, faith, enthusiasm. What are you enthusiastic about? That's what agelessness is. It's about saying, yes. I'm 62, yes. What are you saying yes to? What are you enthusiastic about? When you're enthusiastic, you raise your quality of life. Does anyone have an enthusiasm? Embodiment? I love that. Wherever you are, wherever we are, saying yes to being embodiment. Anyone else have an enthusiasm? Sorry? Living and loving fully. Yes. Yes? I love it, which means it's happening right now. Isn't that true? Don't you feel some right now? All right, so we've done hope, faith, enthusiasm, creativity. One area of creativity, anybody? Journaling. Writing. Cooking. What are you creative? Okay, the next one is what do you have a desire to do? Do you have a yearning? What do you want to do? How about you? What would you like to do? Dance. I love it. Last 2 questions. Someone you love. Who pops in your mind? Who's the face that just popped in your mind? Someone you love. My daughter. My daughter and my dog. What's that? Kids. Pay special attention to people that you love who are no longer here. That's part of agelessness, is making contact with that. And the last question is, what do you love about yourself? What do you love about yourself? Now, this is the very last thing I'm going to do. So I had the angel cards, and so I have trained myself to believe that the right angel card always comes. And I picked up the angel card, and you know what? One card fell out. I want to share it with you. It's Power. Power is the card that fell out. Now, I'm going to pick another card. Now, I want to suggest to you that if you're having a dream, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. If you're having a dream and you're here in the dream, whatever card I pick is about you, right? So I want to ask you to, the right card's going to come. Let's just see what it is. I have no idea what it is. This is the right card. Support. One angel is supporting the other. And so I want to suggest, and this is the last thing I want to say to you, part of agelessness is not letting yourself get isolated. You have to be in community. I'm going to ring the bell. Here we go. So the very last thing I want to tell you is that contentment, the word contentment means inner wholeness. It means that you are enough exactly as you are. I bring my hands together and I bow to you in contentment. Thank you so much for your time. Namaste, my friends. I hope this is a good service. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So what do you think? Was that a great service? Was that packed with a lot of things? Quick summary: passion, for creativity, for service, living with hope, faith, enthusiasm, support, gratitude, learning, and loving. That was terrific. Thank you so very much. DrakePowe.com and Touching the Edge YouTube channel.
By the way, I also do classes that are funded by the state twice a week. Tuesdays at 1 o'clock and Saturday at 1 o'clock. I do an ageless class on Zoom that's funded by the state. You can come for free. I also do other services throughout the week, So just want to encourage you to balance the inner and outer world. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And also here at Lake Harriet, all of our services are recorded, so you can find every service. If you thought, wow, I need to hear that again and I need to take some notes, just look up our Lake Harriet Spiritual Community YouTube channel. And this is also broadcast live. So if you can't make it in person, sometime you can always catch us online during the service. Now is the time for our offering. We are an entirely volunteer community, and so all of our funding comes from the people that give generously from the heart to support what's taking place here. So as the ushers hand out the basket, please give freely and from your heart. We appreciate that.
Ring them bells, ye heathen, from the city that dreams. Ring them bells from the sanctuaries, across the valleys and streams. For they're deep and they're wide, and the world's on its side. And time is running backwards, and so is the bride. Ring them bells. Ring them bells, ring them bells, ring them bells, ring them bells, St. Peter, where the four winds blow. You gotta ring them bells with an iron hand, so the people will know that the rush hour is now. On the wheel and the plow, and the sun is going down upon the sacred cow. Ring them bells, 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 Saint Martha, for the poor man's son. You gotta ring them bells so the world will know that God is one.
Oh, thank you, everyone. If you please raise your hands and repeat after me. God's perfect love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Blessed be Aho. Thank you so much. Okay, now it's time for our closing circle. We'll gather together in a circle, maybe midway through the seats around this section here, and join hands. And Drake will take us into the week.
Good job. So I want to suggest that right now, the breath you are taking right now is so very sweet. And this moment of your life is one of the very best moments of your entire life. And so the very last thing I'm going to ask you to do is to say this 3 times. I love my life. So I'm going to ask you to say it 3 times. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. And so it is. Thank you. Namaste. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for coming out. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.